All right, let's get straight into it. Now, here we're gonna approach things a little bit differently this time around, because what I'm gonna show you off is, if you watch the screen right here in the top right corner, you'll see that it says here 66666. That is the level, that sort of text chat I'm looking for, and as you can see, we have various text messages talking about that level. What's so special about it? That level is an important level that, although it itself surrounded by various technical levels that are far more important than it itself is, that does represent the center, give or take, plus or minus a couple of dollars left, couple of dollars right, up, down, I mean. Within that vicinity, within that center area of the range around which the price action is currently revolving around. Now, why are we looking at my Discord, at my community channel sort of server, instead of looking at the charts? Well, the point being is that I've been highlighting and saying that all before we now are about to retest that. Of course, I'm kind of been making fun of the whole idea, making fun of how, easily predictable it all is, and so on and so on. But I want to point your attention to this particular message that was posted on 22nd of December 2025, at the end of the year. So if you think back, we're roughly looking at about, well, three full months and several days that I've been highlighting and saying that we will be retracing. To me, it looks like, basically, if you want to, in fact, today's gap at the moment, I'd say has about 50%-ish capability capability to get filled. I think I was trying to say today, let alone move lower, and bigger picture is indicative of an upcoming lower low. To me, it looks like 6,666, and even lower around 6,400-ish handle, which you guys all seen we've been testing in the recent days. You've seen we dropped roughly to these levels, as I've predicted, literally 3 months ago, right, in advance. And I knew we will be retesting some of these levels if you think there is no indication in the broader picture unless you know what it is to look for. And this is why I invite you to my community, while it is still discounted. Go to patreon.com. As you can see, the address right up there. So right up there, there's an address, patreon.com/Greg_Ray_H. And the reason you want to join the community is because, unlike most of the people around, my members are informed, and all that beautiful, wonderful thing happens for only $70 a month, which I conduct monthly meetings. I post on the daily basis to kind of show you where I've been putting all that stuff out of, is from this Greg's charts, and on the daily basis I post to my members where we're headed. In fact, if you want to kind of make fun of how accurate this thing is, believe it or not, this channel, these two blue lines were generated literally months ago, and I warned how they will play a major role, and have been following how they now come back into their sort of dedicated respective role. Here it is. You can see these two blue lines. They were generated around December, November-ish 2025, and even then we were able to identify through the right tools, through the right measurements, that these two channels will play a major role. In fact, if you look down here right now, you can find that these two channels have been retested multiple times, quite strongly. In fact, they are, as you can see right here, in fact, I shouldn't have gone that far, right? You can see from up close and personal. That's the beauty of my community. My community members are fully up to speed, fully aware, and understand exactly what it is that's being tested. You can see up close and personal that these levels are very well acknowledged, and understand the importance of these levels, why they're there in the first place, what is the cyclicality, what is the momentum showing, where are we headed, to be more simple about things to those who don't understand anything and don't want to understand anything. Good for you. But just to kind of pinpoint that out before that happens, right? So we are now headed back to that 6,666, which I've highlighted we will retrace to, and I spoke about this in depth in my community. Everybody in my community understands the reasoning why, and everybody's far too outside of my community, and people who don't know anything about anything are far too preoccupied. In fact, it's just with gaps and things that don't matter at this point of the cyclicality, because the momentum is far stronger than these minor side effects, tertiary ripple effects, no more than that. And if you know that, and you know what they stem from, what is the actual impulse that or the motive of the action, you understand why and where we're headed. So this, for example, highlights how we're still gonna move higher. As I said, retest that 6,666 potentially. In fact, we may end up testing somewhat higher than that. As you can see right there in this picture was posted to my community members, just to kind of highlight when they were, first of all, they are fully aware. As you can see, I was highlighting how these gaps will get retested, these particular levels within which we are moving right now. My members are fully aware. In fact, you can see these levels right now up close and personal. Those are not the two blue lines you saw before, not the diagonal ones. Those are horizontal lines that have been generated by gaps and various other means. And so you can see these levels are very accurate. And if you want to know, to understand how to identify all of these levels, how to get it right in terms of your own analysis. In fact, here I'm kind of making fun, you know, with this wonderful song, wink wink, how about it's all magic, right? And you can see I've been talking about this. Of course, I was sort of posting today's picture, but if you can see, I was posting that on April 6th, right? Well, no, April 2nd. Of course, I was highlighting the very same things. You can see that falls under the very same umbrella, April 2nd, right there. You can see that very same circle. Kind of, I was highlighting how we were moving higher, although the price action was very negative at that day. I was already seeing how we're going to continue going higher, and as you can see today, we are headed higher, right? We're continuing to move higher. In fact, here's that range, that 666 range. In fact, there are multiple surrounding levels that are extremely important. And again, if you want to understand how to derive and deduct and identify these levels and have them all play out also accurately, I invite you to my community before it gets too late, because this discount is about to expire. This discount, I'm talking about this discount, this $70 discount is about to expire. Literally, in fact, it already is extended. I've been planning to retire this discount last month, but I decided to prolong it just a couple more days. You have final couple of days, and in fact, if you want to get it even cheaper, you can ticker that little ticker right here, the 20% off, pay annually, and then you'll pay $56 a month instead of $70. Very importantly, do not join in through iOS or Apple or none of that crap, simply because they will charge you extra money. And yeah, don't do that. Just, you know, join through your browser or whatever. Make sure you're logged in with your correct user. Of course, then you'll find yourself on the Discord in these two wonderful channels. At first, you'll have only these two channels which have instructions for everything. The left click me. Do not be like these people who are stuck in limbo forever. The bots will clean you out eventually, right? So follow all the instructions. Like the newer members, by the way, shout out to the new members who already did join. And of course, then you will be privy to all that Patreon stuff. This, for example, I was just kind of showing the crazy stuff that's been going on in Israel for the past couple of days. In fact, today we've been having an insane amount of missiles shot at us, and many of them blew up, exploded, or intercepted rather, right above where I live. Although luckily for me, they land elsewhere, but still. Of course, plenty of wonderful things. If you do want to join the Academy, I now have 3 available spots, already have 1 in reserve. So, you know, be quick about it, otherwise you'll miss out. The Academy, the one-on-one Academy, is currently 60% discounted. Do not wait until the discount will expire, and it will cost a full price, which is $10,000. Yes, you heard me right. My Technical Analysis Academy is $10,000, and there are plenty of testimonials who prove that it is more than worth it. Here are just some. Let me move my stupid ass so you guys can see some of these testimonials from my students who already graduated from the one-on-one Academy. So the longer you postpone, the longer it will take you to achieve results like this. $183,000 in 31 days. Right. So that's just an example. And I get plenty of these, by the way. Plenty of these, believe it or not. Especially lately, I've been getting a lot of really good feedback from what my members have been able to do. That's it, boys and girls. Love you all. I'll see you on the next one. Don't forget to join Patreon. It's there. It's there. Somewhere there. It's in that direction. Join in the Patreon. Don't miss out. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe. It is free. Absolutely free. 100% free. No money. No shekels. Just, yeah. Do me a big favor. See you on the next one, boys and girls.